Hey traders, Akil Stokes here, and welcome to another episode of the Trading Blog. I am dressed casually today because, well, my weekend has essentially started early. As I told my live room members this morning, we had the ECB press conference today, we have our jobs day tomorrow here in the US, and essentially these are 2 days that I have zero interest in trading. Now I know for some of you, you're like, why? This is when the market moves. This is when the market goes crazy. There's big green candles and big red candles, and there is money to be made. Yes, correct. There is money to be made if you are on the right side of the market. However, there is also a lot of money that could be lost as well. And typically when we have these events where price action is based off a short-term reaction to what's said on the news or what the report comes out, it takes really the edge out of your trading. I mean, the markets become more random. Bullish and bearish movements are more random than falling in line with what quote unquote should happen, normal price movement. So, my number one rule of trading isn't to make as much money as possible. I know that seems weird, but if you've been following me for a while, you're kind of getting the sense of my philosophy on trading and the philosophy that professional traders hold. It's not about making the most amount of money. It's about conserving capital. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's blog. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about creating a portfolio and how to avoid overexposing yourself in the market. Today, and I left you guys with a little teaser, but today we're going to follow up on that and talk about, if you're going into managing money, what is more important? What are these investors actually looking for? And I'll tell you what, it's not 1,000% returns. That's just not realistic. But before we do so, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. The community has been great. I always read through all the comments, but in particular, I was reading through the comments on a few older posts today, and I noticed that you guys are doing a better job of answering questions before I even get a chance to. You traders saying, hey, Akil, I'm a beginner. How about this? How about that? And before I can get to it in the morning, I already seen that, hey, there's an answer in there giving great advice. And that's been the whole goal. I want to create that community. I want to create that tribe of positive, influential trading figures. That way, newer traders and struggling traders and even traders that have been doing this for a while have a place to go where they're going to see the honest truth and they're not going to get all of these false expectations. So keep that up, guys. I love it. And I can't wait to bring you guys onto this. We talked about it. I did a live Instagram post this morning, but I shared a little bit about the dashboard that we've been working on at Trade Empower. Now, for you guys that attended the Ultimate Trader Transformation workshop, you guys saw this, where it's a new dashboard where right now it's still in its testing phases. All we have is our transformation members on there. That way we make sure that it doesn't get broken. But the plan is to invite everyone on there, live room members, syndicate members, even members that have just taken the free training on our website, and really create a community aspect and hopefully have a bigger chat that all of us can take part in, or maybe not all of us, but certain members can take part in. So I don't know when this is coming, when it's going to be released to the public, but I'll certainly keep you guys updated. So anyway, let's head into the video. Lastly, sorry, I promised this last thing. I will be doing a live webinar tomorrow, live Q&A session tomorrow. I'll broadcast it here on YouTube at 8 a.m. New York. Just a little Q&A, since again I have no intentions of trading, so instead of wasting an hour in a live room, I might as well invite you guys to ask me a few questions as well, and hopefully give out some tips. So subscribe to YouTube. You'll see it on here. It's going to be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. New York time. And without further ado, here's the continuation of yesterday's trading video. Right? Especially when we're managing money. Do you think we want violent swings? Think about a hedge fund, for you guys that are familiar with hedge funds. For any of you guys that have retirement accounts, IRAs and stuff like that, 401ks. Does it make you happy? I know you don't see it on a regular basis, but imagine you're tracking your 401k on a regular basis. Do you think it makes you happy to see violent swings up and down? It gets you pretty scared. You'd rather see a slow, steady incline, right? Doesn't matter. Here's how real investors think. Right? Doesn't matter how much you make, right? As long as you're making more than what you would have sitting in a bank account. Doesn't matter how much you make, don't lose my money. That's the whole thing. Look, if you're making more than a few percent a year, perfect. That's good, because that's a few percent more than what I would have had. But don't lose my money. And I always tell this to people who are interested in going into managing money, where they're talking about the return. I'm like, well, what's your max drawdown? Because the investors that you're looking for, they would much rather see a 20% return per year with a max drawdown of 5% versus a 100% return with a max drawdown of 50%. And I know it. I know that seems crazy. You're like, Akil, why would I go for a 20% return when I can have a 100% return? I know it seems crazy, right? Does that seem ridiculous to anyone? You could be honest. It seems ridiculous to me. I'd much 100%. That's 5 times a 20% return. But think about it this way. In order to make that 100% return, at some point, that trader lost half of your money. Half of your hard-earned savings that you've been saving up for years and years and years. They risked half of it to make that return. What if they take the same risk in a different year and it doesn't pay off? Guess what could potentially happen to you? You may lose everything. And I would much rather make less with a less chance of losing everything than make more with a higher chance of losing everything. And that's how these investors think. So it's not about showing off your $1 million return. They don't care about that. Because they typically know, if you're someone that's saying, hey, 500% return this year, they typically know what type of risk it took to get that 500% return. And that risk isn't worth it. All right, traders. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please show us by hitting that like button and subscribing by clicking the button right below. If you're looking for more educational content, feel free to head over to our tradingpower.com website, or also take a look and you'll see more videos available for you. Have a good one.